When trying to decide if you're more of a perceiving personality or a thinking personality, step back and address the question of what are the behaviors that others tend to see in you? Do you prefer a flexible and adaptable lifestyle? Then this is going to be you. So if you are more ordered and you carry around a planner or a calendar, you're probably not a perceiving type. And this preference also is thought of as your orientation to the outer world, how things impact you. So perceiving types tend to take up approximately 46% of our entire population. When we look at this perceiving type, remember that their learner word is really curious because they're very flexible. They're interested in just about anything that goes on around them, and they don't really care to organize how they're learning. They just want to jump in and learn anything. And they want to be able to understand how they can use this knowledge. This is going to be the question that is going to plague them the most and really be at the forefront of their thoughts when they are looking at why they are learning something. Let's look at some best instructional techniques. They're a very active learner. This goes along with that flexibility and that desire to be very into things, right? Because they love the aesthetics and they're going to try to take in as much as they can. And they're also going to do a little bit of that assess and identify, but not too deep. They love frequent breaks. And this is so they can be a little more physical and also so that they can walk away and to take some time to look at something else. Because remember, they're curious. So they're going to dive into things and they're going to learn as much as they can about that thing. Then they're going to move on. Something else may spur them. Kind of like a squirrel effect, right? They love cooperation, but they also love competition, so they love both. So you can use both cooperation and competition within the classroom. They are a discussion-oriented type of people. They're going to love to get as much information as they can from other people. And this is because, again, they're curious. They're going to want to know not just what the professor is teaching or the teacher is teaching, but they're going to want to know what others think around them. They want to gather as much information as they can and even as quickly as they can. They also love educational games and experiential learning. This type of learner loves that field trips because remember, when we look back at that question is how can I use this knowledge? So part of that practical application and using that knowledge falls into field trips because now they're being able to really see how things were applied. They love general concepts as well as those details, and they love group activities. So remember though that they're going to gather as much information as they can, and they may do it in a hands-on informational way as well. But they're going to dig in until something else intrigues them and they're going to back off and jump into something else. They love a fast-paced instructional method, so it needs to move very, very quickly. Now remember, why is that? Simply because they're very curious, they're imaginative, and they're very independent. They want to jump around and do things. They love to see things modeled as well. They will work in a partnership, and they also love to have those physical activities. Again, the strength and the thing to remember here is their flexibility. So mix things up, change them up. Let them really experiment with their own learning environment and get them involved in how they want to learn. They are problem solvers. They love independent self-instruction, and they're going to process information verbally. So this is going to really help when you use those new teaching techniques of collaboration and any kind of group setting. They love teamwork and they really enjoy anything or any learning activity that is going to be unstructured. That goes along with their flexibility in learning.